Welcome back, my fellow humans. I'm so honored to be here sharing this human experience and this amazing journey with each and every one of you. Remember that if a trigger does arise on the reading themselves, please don't force it to fit, and see that friction as a sacred blueprint for you to deepen your own healing and growth journey. So with that, we are going to be looking into Divine Message Meant for You Now. I got a new deck in just recently, and that's the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and we're going to be using that today. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. And if the messages resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And yeah, let's find out, what is the divine message meant to find you now? I think I need to turn this up a little. It's hard to shuffle on that little cloth. Divine message meant to find you now. All right. The divine message meant to find you now. Perfect. Pile number 1. What oracle card will help us better understand the divine message meant to find you now? Pile 1. All right. I'm going to put them down here below the feathers for now. All right, pile number 2, the divine message meant to find you now. What oracle card will help us better understand this today? Thank you. All right. Pile number 3, divine message right away meant to find you now. Thank you. All right, so if you're interested, after we choose the piles, we'll go ahead and get into the collective message. However, let me set these up, and we will get this. You can pick your pile right away, okay? All right. So for pile 1, we do have this red Jasper for the root chakra, with the seed sound lam on it. Or you have this beautiful duck feather to choose from. Okay. Pile number 2, we have this yellow Jasper gemstone for the solar plexus chakra, with the seed sound ram on it. We have this beautiful Grackle feather for you to choose from. And pile number 3, we have this beautiful Jade gemstone for the heart chakra, with the seed sound yam on it. We have this beautiful feather, and I'm not sure what kind of a bird this comes from, but it is near the ocean. I can say that, for you to choose from. Okay, so we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever pile you feel drawn to, if you are moving straight there, I will meet you on that reading. For those of you that are hanging out with me for the collective reading and the prayer, we'll go ahead and move into that collective reading now. So, on the bottom of the deck, this is one of the first cards that I got. We got the Courageous Peony with multifaceted, unique nature, and let yourself be seen. And I feel like this is such a powerful message coming out for the collective right now. So a divine message meant to find you now is to let yourself be seen. You know, we're all in this place of wanting to be heard, wanting to be understood, and wanting to be seen. And yet we struggle the most with letting ourselves be seen and allowing ourselves to be seen as we are. We're often hiding behind masks that we didn't even know existed, or we do know that they exist, but they feel safe, right? It's some podium that we get to stand behind in hopes that we don't have to be judged or hurt for our real self coming out like it has been in the past. And that could be from parents, from siblings, from friends, from teachers, just from people in the past that have judged you, chastised you, or even cast you aside for you showing your truth to them. And being courageous after having gone through many situations like that can be very challenging and difficult, because it's literally asking us to put aside the pain of what we've experienced from before and to be okay with being in that moment, whatever it is, right? And that's the scary part, because it's the unknown. We're letting ourselves be seen, and what if someone judges us, or what if someone tries to cast us aside for us letting our truth show? And the reality is that is a very high potential. That's life. There's gonna be people who have a problem with you just because they have a problem with you. And whether there's a why or if there isn't a why to that, it doesn't ultimately matter. It's just understanding that we're not for everybody, and not everybody is for us. And when we can really embrace that and move into that type of energy and that type of perspective, we can let go of the fear of the unknown, of being seen, and allowing ourselves to be seen. That's what takes so much courage, right? And peonies are beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they almost look like roses, right? So immediately people are drawn to them, but then they realize there's something unique about them. They're not quite like a rose, are they? But they are beautiful in their own right, and they do stand out. And a peony doesn't have thorns like a rose, and it's showing your sweet nature, and it's showing your compassion, and it's showing your kindness. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, I want to be seen. You have the potential to truly be seen like a rose, something that everybody's naturally drawn to. But the ones who really, really pay attention to you are going to be the ones that pick out the fact that you're slightly different. And that is the beauty in itself. And that's where the courage comes from, is letting that part of you that's slightly different be the introduction to who you are. And that's the part that so many people spend their entire lives running away from. And so today, the divine message that's meant to find you is to let your unique nature stand out. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be heard. And if people don't want to hear you and people don't want to see you, thank them and move on, because they've made your job so easy. They have shown you that they are not for you, which means that you are not for them. And that makes it so much easier. And if they stand and judge, let them stand and judge. You don't have to stick around and hear all those hurtful things. And even if they cast those hurtful things at you, you do not have to wear them any longer. You're grown now, and you're no longer the innocent child who felt everything and felt like it was theirs to carry every little thing that happened. Now you're the adult that actually handles those moments with care, with precision, and with compassion, and reminding that inner child within you that you no longer have to wear this like a badge, or like a cape, or like a shield, or like a mask. It's okay to put this down. I will get rid of this for you. I will take care of this, and I will help move us away from these individuals who are not kind to us. We don't deserve that, and we do not have to put up with it, right? And that's what's being courageous here. So let's read this from the book and see what it says. What a powerful message right out the bat. The courageous peony. It says, flowers don't open and close according to who walks by. They embrace all of what they are and show it to the world around them. The peony doesn't try to compete with the cherry blossom, and the cherry blossom doesn't try to compete with the tulip. They own what they are and trust the timing of their true nature. You're being called to do the same. It's time to open yourself up to being seen, time to share your incredible, multifaceted, true nature with the world around you, to uncover and reveal your soul's greatest gift without wavering, to own your uniqueness without apologizing. There's a flower on this plant that holds the same qualities that your soul is ready itself to express. Let it inform you. You may have been taught that it's safer to keep your light hidden and your voice small, to hide behind the bushes instead of growing tall. The courageous peony is here to remind you that it's safe to embody all of who you truly are. It's safe to share your voice and let yourself be seen. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may be afraid of what others think. But with each passing day, it does become easier. Little by little, you realize that it draws in those who are meant for you, and experiences you've been longing for arrive at your feet. The inquiry here is, how are you being called to allow yourself to be more visible and seen in the world? Yeah, and I love that. I just feel like that's such a powerful message for you today. Collectively, super, super powerful. All right. So let's do our prayer. Set the intention moving forward for each reading. And I found it has been so long since I've had my my cloths down, but I found the bag they were in finally. I did not remember where they were for a while, and I found it today, and I was like, oh, all right, I can use these again. It's been a long time. So I thought I would pull them out. All right. My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading today, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you help us to embrace our unique selves, to embrace the light that shines within, and to walk forward courageously and let ourselves be seen. We struggle with this at times. We fear that we're going to be judged harshly. We fear we're not going to be understood, or that people are going to have something to say that's going to push us back into our shell. And while that might have been true for our journey at some point in time along the way, that does not have to be the truth of our journey now. That we can truly allow ourselves to be in this space. We can truly allow ourselves to take up space, and to know that we can transcend all of these limiting beliefs that we've maybe placed on ourselves, or maybe that others have placed on us, that we've chosen to believe or been forced to believe at some point in time. We let it go. We let it go, and we ask to be freed from the burden of feeling ostracized for being different. We let it go, and we let go of the burden of feeling like being different is a sin. We let go of the burden, and we let go of feeling like we don't belong. Because the truth and the reality is, and will always be, and has always been, that we belong here and now, exactly as we are, because we are in this moment enough. As these words are spoken upon this reading and on this tribe today, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right. So that is everything we've got going on. I am going to go ahead and leave the intro here. I don't have any more announcements for you, but with that being said, I'll see you over on the pile that you picked. Hello and welcome back, my fellow humans. I'm so excited to be here sharing this human experience and this journey of growth and personal development with you. Remember that if a trigger does arise on the reading itself, please don't force it to fit. And also view that friction as a sacred blueprint for you to deepen your own personal growth and healing journey. If the messages resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that, let's go ahead and hop to it. I do just want to let you know, for this message, divine message meant for you today, we're going to use the dice to get an energy blueprint for you. And then we are going to move into the tarot, and then later we're going to move into the tarot. So this is pile 1. If you picked the red Jasper root chakra gemstone with the seed sound lam. Actually, I'll put that there. Or if you were drawn to this beautiful feather. Or if you were there during the shuffle and felt called to this card, okay? So for pile 1, the divine message meant for you now. What is your energy right now? Source, what would you like to share with pile number 1? What is their energy right now? Whoa, rolling in, okay. So we've got the 9th house, we've got Gemini, and we've got Aquarius. So your energy right now, it feels like, let me grab my block. You're learning how to communicate differently, to trust yourself with the way that you communicate, and let that be your guide. But it's even bigger than that. Right? Like, I feel like right now it's really truly tuning in and seeing things from a much different perspective than what you're used to. And with that comes the alteration of our entire being, right? Like, our core is being affected, and that's what this feels like. We've done a lot of information gathering. It feels like you've been foraging information for a long time, and then suddenly something happens where now you're able to integrate that intelligence and wisdom in an incredibly unique way. And there's this very big progression that's happening in your own life right now. And if you don't see it just yet, it is happening. It's just right beneath the surface right now. There's an integration that's happening of all of these informations and all of these energies that you have looked into, discovered, that you have explored. And there's this integration of all these lessons coming up all at once. And it feels like there's a core wound here that's being impacted in how you think, but also how you communicate and how you logistically see the world around you. That's what's shifting. You're not seeing something the same. So if this has to do with a person or the way that people treated you in some way, shape, or form, like, you're not seeing that person the same. Or you're no longer allowing people to treat you a certain way, like what you may have accepted before. And it's at first happens slowly, then it suddenly happens incredibly quickly. So you might be like, oh yeah, I need to really set a boundary with this person, or I really need to set a boundary when this situation arises. And the first time you do it, it feels really uncomfortable, right? But then after that, because there's like a sudden shift in your energy where you're like, oh, I feel so much better, or I feel like I didn't betray myself, or I feel like I stood up for myself finally when it came to this, you get an immediate boost. And then every time after that, it becomes exponentially easier, which is true with most things on our journey. But this is something different where you're actually being physically shown in that first chance where you're like, I really need to do this for myself. And you take that step to doing it for yourself. And in taking that step for doing it for yourself, you are then in this energy of seeing sudden progression. And it's interesting because I am getting this huge energy for you, pile 1, that your pile is going to be around transformation. I did get that. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I'm in a weird energy today. Not a bad energy, just a weird energy. And, you know, we all have our weird days, and I feel like today is definitely one of my weird days. But I was getting that from the beginning, is that you are the pile of transformation. So if you feel like there's a lot transforming in your life right now, then this is especially true for you. Let's get some tarot out and find out some more, okay? What is the divine message meant for you right now? What is the divine message meant for you right now? And it's something that's physically, tangibly changing for you and giving you a sense of confidence. Maybe it's been dealing with people who are emotionally unavailable, or people who are manipulative, or red flags that you weren't able to see before. There's something here that it's being physically grounded in this reality. It's a choice that you made here. All right, so the first card we're going to find out, what is anchored in your life right now, pile 1, for this divine message. Yeah, so with the 8 of Wands coming out in the reverse here, it's showing there's been a fear tied to this, okay? And I feel like that's what it was. It's like maybe before you were able to stand up or set this boundary or speak your piece or speak your mind even, when it came to this situation, there was a fear, maybe a fear of rejection, or a fear of letting someone down is coming in really, really heavily right now. But there's definitely something that you were running from, or something that you were hiding from because of a past version or a past wound that was at play here. And things are starting to balance out. It's like now that you've gotten to the other side of yourself, right? You've overcome so much, and now that you've gotten to the other side of yourself, you're seeing that this fear, while was valid, is no longer necessary. And so you're closing this chapter. But what's been anchored in your life currently is facing this fear, and it's been a very big fear. Even though I feel like once you face it, you're going to see that it wasn't as big as it seemed. It's just that the fear itself had attached on to your identity, or you identified with the fear, or your emotional ego identified with the fear itself. And through all of that, it turned something that was actually really small into something that was humongous and felt unconquerable. And you're going to conquer it, like with one step forward, you're going to conquer it, and you're going to see that, oh my gosh, this was not as bad as I thought. And there's no blaming yourself. You're just going to, it's kind of like, oh, you know, when I don't know if you remember going to school for like the first time, you're so scared the first day of school, right? You're so scared. You're like, oh my gosh, like what if all this stuff happens? What if all this stuff happens? And then as soon as you walked into the classroom, like all those fears dissipated, and it was just the excitement of being there, the excitement of being around friends, or maybe for some people there was no excitement. It was just like, why was I so nervous? This is just another day at school or whatever, right? Like it's that same energy. Or even work, like your first day on the job or something. Like you go into work and you're like really nervous, like, oh my gosh. And then you sit down and you're like, this is just like every other job I've had. I don't know why I was so nervous, right? It's that same thing. And so this is that, but with healing. It's just going to be like, oh, this is just like every other time that I've healed. Okay, cool. So let's see what message your guides want you to receive right now in regards to this. Let it fall apart. And that's, I feel like the scary thing is letting it fall apart. This is such a powerful card with the House of God coming through here, because with the feathers up here, right? And this is why this card differs so much than the Rider-Waite-Smith, is because this is not a lightning bolt. This is a feather. And feathers are really soft, right? I mean, think about it. I couldn't move these crystals with this feather. Like, I'd probably break that feather before one of these crystals moved, right? And that's what makes it so symbolic. Because here's all this plume, this feather plume that comes in and literally knocks the crown off of our head. And it's exactly, this is so synchronistic because it's messages from the divine realm. That's what the feather plume represents, is messages from the divine realm coming in. And basically, it feels like it's beating up our emotional ego. And in a sense it is. It's helping us to let our spirit be seen. But the reason why it's beating up our emotional ego is because our ego takes a direct hit. And that's where the shedding begins, is because then we can know, we can ask ourselves, do I identify with this, or am I ready to let this go? And through embracing letting it go, then we begin to shed the emotional ego. It's when we can let go of the identity that it's had on us for so long. And that's what it feels like is happening here. 333 is a very powerful number for you. It's coming up here as well. I just feel like that's a number that you might see a lot, or that's a number that seems to follow you around when things seem to start falling apart. You start noticing 333, and that is your angels and your guides directly coming in and saying, hey, we got your back. Don't worry. You are not walking this journey alone. We are right here with you. We've got you engulfed in love, and we are at times carrying you, even if you can't feel it. We've got you, because there's certain things that the ego is like, feels like everything is falling apart, feels like everything is coming to an end, but in reality, it's everything is falling apart to fall into place. And that's what's really going on here, and that's what they want you to know, is that let it fall apart. Don't try to pick up the pieces and glue them back together like you may have done in the past. That part of yourself is over. Right now, we're just letting the pieces fall as they may and letting the new part of yourself emerge. And that's why this is so powerful for you. Okay, and we'll get the last one here is, what is your next step or your next action that you can take? What is the next step or next action that they can take? Yeah. So with the Popess in the reverse here, it's talking about letting go of superficiality. So this could be, I was getting that this might have been a person, or this could have been a way that people were treating you. So if we go back to that example, okay, if we go back to that example, what they're saying here is that let go of these superficial contracts. These are surface level contracts that have no depth, but incur a lot of debt. They incur a lot of damage. They incur a lot of hurt and suffering. And they keep you disconnected from yourself and from your tribe, the people who are there for you on this journey. Okay. And right now, I feel like having this person or having these people in your life have kept you from trusting your intuition, trusting the journey that you're on, or trusting the path that you've wanted to take or have chosen to take. Like you've taken a brave step in moving forward in that sense. But there's also something about like, oh, well, what if Susie doesn't like what I'm doing, right? What if Daisy gets mad at me because, you know, I chose this instead of hanging out with her today, and even though I told her last week I didn't have the time, you know, like these things, whatever. What if Bob says, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe that you chose that. I can't believe that you didn't hold up to the bro code, brother. And it's like, whatever it is. Okay, these are just weird examples coming in. But we're just going to say that it's like these people who are very surface level and they don't have any depth. Like if they can't appreciate the fact that you're taking steps for your own journey and your own dream and your own well-being, you know, that's a really important one. If people cannot appreciate you taking steps towards your own well-being, pile one, then those are not people that you want in your life, because they're not going to celebrate your major milestones with you. And I'm not talking about riches and wealth. I'm talking about major milestones of finally overcoming patterns and belief systems that have kept you in a state of limitation or in a state of being small and dimming your own light. The people who have a problem with that, they're going to always try to force you back into the box to make themselves comfortable. And that's what this feels like. And so the actionable step is to really observe these connections. Are these connections beneficial in the sense of they lift me up? They, you know, and it's weird to look at as a connection as beneficial, right? But we have to, in a sense. It's not transactional. But it's more or less looking at it like, do they fill me with love? Do they fill me with light? Are they encouraging? Do they stand by me Even when I'm having a hard time, do they remind me that I'm worthy? Do they remind me that I'm enough? You know, those are the people who really, really will go the distance with you. But right now there's something that's falling apart that's very surface level. This could even be a job from some sort of institution. This could be, maybe you're going to school to get a degree and you realize you want to change your mind and do something else. Again, letting the institution fall, right? Letting it fall apart. It's superficial. You're going to see the superficiality to it. And again, I'm not saying that those are bad things, right? I'm not saying these are bad people. I'm not saying that going to school is bad. That's not what this is. But it's looking into your heart and honoring what your heart wants. And right now, what your heart is asking for and what your divine guidance is that there's something here that's falling apart. And instead of being the glue that holds it together, let it fall apart. Let it become whatever it's going to become, because there's some truth that's going to come out in regards to it. Yeah, with the sun on the bottom, there's something here that's going to be seen, and you can no longer deny what it is that's standing in front of you. Where before I feel this energy of where it was easy for you to deny that this was a superficial connection, or say it's family. Right? Say this is family and be like, well, that's just how my family is. You know, when we start saying stuff like that, we'll let people get away with some of the most ridiculous things because we're just saying, well, that's just who they are. But they're disrespecting you. Well, that's just who they are. No, that is not just who they are. That is what they've gotten away with for so long that they expect that. And the minute that we don't set boundaries for ourselves, we're saying we settle for that. And that's what's shifting here, is you're letting go of the fear of this falling apart. So I do feel like in your past, this is something that is very specific, but it is coming up for someone here. You could have been the peacekeeper, the peacemaker in your family, which means that when everything got really chaotic, you stepped up as a child in an adult way and said, hey, why don't we come together and talk this out? Hey, I see both sides of the argument here, and I see that you're both valid, and I understand that you both have a right to say what you need to say, but this is getting out of hand, and we need to take a step back. Like, you're the one to diffuse a lot of situations growing up, and that has been something that has served you well, but it has also gotten you into a lot of trouble, because being there to diffuse situations meant that you also were trying to diffuse situations in your own life that were not meant to stick around, that were meant to fall apart. And that's where it's been really frustrating. And that's why I feel like this is something tangible, especially because you chose the root chakra, Jade, the Jasper, the Jade, the Jasper, red Jasper, is just showing that this is something that's going to be tangible here, that you're going to feel. And I also feel like there's a lot of protection that's coming with this too. Like, Source is not going to leave you alone. Your guides, your angels, they're not going to leave you alone in this. They're going to remind you that you're loved, that you're held, and that you're supported. Can you give us a little bit more about what's next for pile 1? Look at this. We've got the 3 of Cups with celebration. Can you give us a little bit more about what's next for pile 1? Yeah, aloneness, okay. With the Hermit, can you give us a little bit more about what's next for pile number 1? And the 7 of Swords with politics. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Master. This is an extra card in this deck. And it's literally about mastering ourselves, right? When we master ourselves, then we can master our lives. It's not about mastering others. It's about mastering ourselves. And so what you can expect next is a period of, and I was saying that integration here with the Hermit, period of reflection, of observation, but also a period of celebration and growth, a lot of emotional growth for you. And so I do feel like letting go of something is going to invite in something that is far better for you moving forward. Even if it is scary, even if it is frightening, it's going to feel a lot more in line with you, because you've overcome such an incredibly difficult situation. And I know this, like, this is why I was saying it feels like a person who's really sneaky. It feels like there's a manipulative person here, someone we were talking about. If you didn't catch the collective message, you might really resonate with that. But the masks that we ourselves wear. But it's like you're pulling down your own mask, and now you're able to see the mask of another person or a situation in your life that you weren't able to see before. And you're persevering over that. And you're actually seeing it for what it's worth. But with the Sun and the Master coming out here, it's just showing like this is going to be something that you clearly can no longer ignore. You clearly can no longer even make excuses for. Even if you weren't trying to make excuses for this, I just feel like the excuse itself was something that was so habitual. Even if it wasn't in regards to this person. Yeah, someone that's a manipulator with the Emperor in the reverse here. Someone who's very brutal. Someone who is very unkind. Someone who treats you like you're an object and not a person. Right? This is that energy. It's just someone who feels like they don't owe you anything and that you owe them everything. Okay? An Emperor in reverse is like, I'm the rightful ruler and everybody belongs under my toe. Instead of being like, I'm the ruler and we're all here and we have to take care of each other, right? Sovereignty versus the righteousness is what's coming in. So it's like you're the sovereign leader and they're the righteous leader, where it's like, I'm right and you're wrong. And I'm right because of, and they give some list of excuses that sounds really good on paper and it sounds really good when you hear it. And it might even make sense when you hear it, but it's all backed by the ego, fear, concern of image, and so on and so forth. And that's the politics behind it. So I feel like this has been a really difficult journey for you, Pile 1. Understandably so. But what's coming next is something very beautiful for you. And I feel like reconnection with people who see and value you for who you are in this moment. Not people who are trying to use you and abuse you or use you for something for themselves. Yeah, trying. Oh my gosh, that's what I was saying. You might see 333 a lot. We have angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. So again, your angels are definitely helping you through this. You're getting support through this part of your life, through this part of your journey right now. Even if it feels incredibly challenging, you are getting the support. Now, I do have a new deck. I've had this deck for a long time. I have not brought it out. I have to check this card off of camera because it might not be camera appropriate. But this is the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses Oracle by Tony Carmine and Carmine Salarino. There's the book if you guys want to know. But I use this deck for myself all the time. Okay, yeah, so I'll have to cover this up, but I'll show you the card, what it says. Just a second. Okay, so we've got the Angel of Joyfulness, and we have here something wondrous and magical is about to happen. And I just want to show this because she has the butterfly wings, and we're looking at the butterfly as a transformation. And I feel like that's really synchronistic to the reading itself, right? Like it's super synchronistic. I wish that you guys could see it, but no, it's just a little bit too risque for the camera. But yeah, it's something wondrous and magical is about to happen. So I do feel like there's good things that are coming for you, Pile 1. There's a shift that's happening, a very positive shift that's coming into your life. We do have on the bottom Angel of Relaxation. Let go of the desired outcomes and you will get what you want. So not holding on to, like, if you really want to get away from this person, not holding on to, I really want to get away, I really want to get away, I really want to get away. Rather coming into that, like, I am getting away from them and I'm just going to keep showing up for what I need to do each and every day. Right? Wow. Okay. That is too many. Like half the deck just came out. There we go. Thank you. No, it's not time yet. Okay, this is not the divine right time to take action. Please be patient. The opportune moment is approaching. Yeah, so I do feel like that's Source just coming in and reminding you that things are happening. Okay, they're happening. So for some of you, you have not yet stepped up into this empowered state of being, and that's okay. It's coming, all right? Don't stop what you're doing. Right? The worst possible thing that we can do is just be like, oh, well, it's already mine and I have to do nothing to get it. No, it's coming because you're already taking actions to let it come into your life. And that's why they're saying keep doing what you've been doing, keep showing up for your routines, your rituals, for your health, for your mental health, for your physical well-being, like all these things, and it will come. That's why it's so important. Like I talked about this the other day on a reading, manifestations are all about setting it and forgetting it. Set your intention and then just let it go into the ethers and go worry about whatever it is you need to do today, not when it's going to come, when it's going to happen, right? So yeah, be the warrior. Look at this courage, taking on challenges. Right now, it feels like you're in a battle. Feels like you're in a spiritual battle. It feels like maybe you're even a mental and emotional battle. And in some situations, you very much are. This is a very difficult situation, especially if you're dealing with someone who is maybe narcissistic or has heavy narcissistic tendencies. It's disheartening. It's like every day you have to prepare for what's going to happen next. But I feel like the thing is that you're learning the patterns. And the more you learn the patterns, the more you can sidestep their antics and their control tactics. And the more you can sidestep and move around their issues and their projections, the more uninteresting you become. And the more uninteresting you become to them, the more they focus on someone else. And it's not that someone else deserves it. That's not what this is. But the thing is that it's the lesson. That's the lesson, right? Like we'll be dealing with them and letting them completely overrun our energy until we learn to stand up for ourselves. And you've been learning how to stand up for yourselves. And that's the thing. It's like, this is the balancing out of the karma, right? Like the eight is such a unique number. Everyone's like, it's clearing karma. It's clearing karma. And I mean, in a sense it is. But the number 8 is truly, when we look at it in the side, it's the infinity symbol. And the infinity symbol talks about what goes around comes back around, right? So if at some point when we're at the center intersection here at the middle, we make a choice and we say, okay, I'm going to choose differently this time around. So we're going to go back around that pattern, and that same pattern is going to arise. But this whole time that we're walking this path, this what goes around comes around, we have the choice to be differently on this path, right? And so once we choose, say we chose here to be different, we have to go all the way back around to get to here until things actually start to level out for us. And that's why the number 8 is such a powerful number. It's just that reminder that what we put out, our intentions, will come back to us eventually. And that's true of anybody. Whether your intentions are positive, negative, or whatever they are, that's true of anybody and everybody. Bottom we have, yeah, it's time to take action. New moon and Aries. So I know we have, it's not time to take action, and then we have, it's time to take action. What they're saying with it's time to take action is this, is to continue to do your daily rituals. Fall back into your rituals. So I do feel like maybe you'd fallen out of your rituals for a while, or maybe you stopped caring for yourself, or maybe you stopped giving yourself self-love, whatever it was. And it's because of the situation is so heavy. It's hard to care for ourselves when we're dealing with a really heavy situation, which is completely understandable. Okay. But what they're saying too is just that reminder that when you go back to those routines, you're going to find a sense of peace. Find peace in the routine. Find freedom in the routine. Okay. Typey McTypeface. Oh my gosh. This is for real. This is a real card right here. We have Typey McTypeface, Guardian Star, Guardian of the Ocean, providing you with protection and strength. Feel safe and peaceful. And honestly, I feel like this is so synchronistic to your reading, because it's just finding the humor and the silliness and the chaos. And sometimes you just have to. Like, sometimes you have to look at someone's actions and be like, wow, you are absolutely ridiculous right now. And I'm just going to laugh at your ridiculousness, because I've been mad and I've been affected by it, and that didn't help. So at least if I laugh, I can get out of here with a smile on my face and my peace hasn't been disturbed. Remember, you are protected. Typey McTypeface. That's such a funny name. All right. Let's see what else comes out for you here. The High Priest of Atlantis with chakra healing. Yeah, this is all about your alignment. Coming into a higher vibration. But this is, again, this is like aligning so that you can manifest. And I see that, like the manifestation line and the liberation current. So both currents are aligning so that you can not only set the intention, but also bring it back into the physical. right? As you bring it into the physical, then you can set out your next intention. And this is what's aligning for you. What do we have here that's showing through? Kuan Yin, kindness and nurturing. So right now it's all about loving and caring for yourself, being compassionate for yourself. That's where you're going to find the peace that you're seeking at this time. So your transformation is here, Pile 1. It's already here. Even if you don't see it in the physical, it's already here. And so now it's just allowing things to unfold while you continue about your business. Just continue being you, boo. Archangel Raphael, I'm helping you heal physical challenges in yourself and others. You are a healer like me. And this absolutely explains why you've been taking it on. Because if you're a healer, if you identify as being a healer or an empath, right, you're going to be naturally feeling things a lot more than people who don't identify as a healer or an empath. And that's why it's been so hard to carry this burden. Whoa. So angel number, clarity, 543 coming in here. Trust yourself and the universe to make the necessary changes to achieve your goals. Soon you'll gain clarity about your life's purpose. So you're in the process of gaining clarity about what's happening and what's unfolding for you right now. And then we have stability with 444. Angels are guiding and supporting you, providing a stable foundation for success. So strength, structure, stability is coming into your life right now. 444. You may see this number a lot too. They're still showing me 333 as well. So don't forget about that number. Something very powerful for you. But I do feel like you're building a newfound sense of stability. And stability is not something that we experience in the outer world. It's something that we experience internally. So if you're feeling unstable, it's because something is out of balance internally. And when you balance that out, then you get to experience stability in the outer realm. The moon, satisfy emotional needs, nurturing self and others. So right now, the main thing that you need, Pile 1, is self-nurturing. Okay, so we have deeper insights are at hand. Your overall plan is good, but the details need work. Reflect before moving forward. So pause, take a break. There's no rush to the end result here, even though it feels like it. Take a break, look at what's going on, and start making a plan. And even if it's not perfect, take imperfect action. Look at this. We have parent, child, family. So I was getting that this could have been family. So we do have that, but we also have inner child dynamics coming out with the parent-child card, number 22. You're getting a lot of master numbers on your reading. Look, I didn't even realize this. This was a number 8 card, so 888 coming out for you. You might see 8 a lot. You may have been born on the 8th day of the month. You may have been born on 8888. That's coming in. But you could have also been born on the 22nd, the 4th, 44. You could have been born on 4488 is coming in as well. Or 2288 is coming in. Okay. Or 3388 is coming in. So 88, maybe that's your year. I don't know. Or maybe this is dealing with someone who was born in 88, okay? You and your loved ones are safe. You know, it's interesting because when the whole group of cards fell out of this deck, it was the you and your loved ones are safe card too. I don't even know if I can find it. It's probably way too far in there now. Yeah, it's too far. It's too far in there, but it fell out from this deck. It fell out of this deck. So there's something about this where it's like, I feel like giving up or letting go or moving on from this situation feels painful because it's family or because it's someone you consider to be family, and it's painful because it feels like there's an obligation there, and letting go of the obligation itself is scary. Okay, and they're saying like no matter what, you and the people you love are safe, but being an enabler is not doing anybody any good, right? Seaweed, find beauty and vulnerability and let your resilience shine through life's challenges. That's what I felt earlier too, is that you're making it through this because you're resilient. You're gonna persevere through this, okay? Wow. Mawu Lisa with balance. This is all about balancing the scales. That's what we were talking about with the number 8, right? The infinity scale. It's like you always get what you put out, but it has to balance itself out. Like it can't just happen. The minute we make a choice, that's not when things actually change for us. Like we have to go through the cycle of it changing, and we have to continue to choose differently every time. every time it comes up. It's just not like, oh, I'm going to choose this and then I'm that. That's not how it works, right? And so the balance has to happen. And I feel like that's what's happening right now, is the balance. Ariel with new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open, and through study, prayer, and meditation. Yeah, so you're opening up to a new way of being, and I feel like your gifts are becoming even more powerful and even more synchronistic. If you have spiritual gifts, or if you feel like you don't, that's okay too. But I do feel like you're just opening up to your talents and your skills and your abilities more. And you're recognizing the synchronicities around you a lot more as well. And they're going to be guiding you through, right? Again, I feel like this matches that same energy from here, the High Priest of Atlantis. Like you see this angel figure back here with the light coming down, and you see him with the lights coming through him. And I feel like that's the same thing. It's just showing that this is high alignment. This is high vibrational alignment for you at this time, even though it's been an incredibly challenging situation. And they're not diminishing that. They just want you to focus on you right now. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your card, and I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what it says. Wait. Okay, so we've got a lot of weight energy for you. It's not yet time. Things are being woven, right? So you're ready to jump through. I mean, you're ready to take that next step. You want to go through to the next part of your journey. But things have to unfold. That's why I'm saying, like, it's the process of coming through the infinity sign, right? Of going back around. And that's what's happening. It's like you've made a choice. You've made it so many times along this line. Like, you're ready for something new. But it's coming. It's got to fold back in on itself, is that energy. And through waiting, you're going to be slingshotted into something else through this. So let's see what this says from the book. Okay. So it says, in our fast, loud, reactive, comparative world, where an instant response is so often expected and at times even a currency, it can feel almost impossible to take a breath, let alone give ourselves the space to rest, wait, reset. We're so often in overdrive, expecting instantaneous results over and over again. When guidance doesn't come at these extreme speeds, it can feel as though something's gone wrong. But often, not receiving guidance is guidance in itself. When you ask for guidance and don't receive it, it can often mean, wait, it's not time yet. The details are being woven. Our challenge is to keep trusting when on the surface it appears that nothing is happening. To remember that no matter how long or bitter the winter, spring does always come. To remember that you don't need to solve all of the world's problems in a single day, and that perhaps they'll be better solved with some perspective and a good night's sleep. This card is your permission to slip, to slow down, to switch off and reset and rest. You're being reminded to have patience and to trust the mystery of life, to trust that things are truly being woven on your behalf. It may not be happening in the timeline you'd like, but if you gather up the patience, it will be orchestrated better than you could ever imagine. So the Starseed inquiry here is, how can you slow down and be more patient and wait? And I feel like that's the thing. It's like you want things to happen right now, which is understandable, but this period of space and time is about bringing you back to yourself. Because you've been fighting this war for so long, you are exhausted. You are overwhelmed. You are tapped out. You're energetically tapped out. And now it's about refilling your cup so that when the next part of your chapter does arrive, you will have the energy, the know-how, the experience, and the vitality to move through it with effortlessness. And that's why your divine message right now that was meant to find you is that your transformation is occurring, but also to have patience as it unfolds, unfurls, and in some cases is folding back in on itself so that you can have a springboard to move on, okay? So this is what I see here for you today, pile number 1. If you felt like this was your reading and you would like to claim it, leave the little balance scale down below, and let's take a moment to breathe in our affirmation, which is, through patience and balance, I am aligning with my highest good and the path of my dreams right now. I rest, I reset, and I allow. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are interested in exploring the tools that we used for our journey today, or to support this journey moving forward, you'll find everything you need in the description box. And with that, I would like to offer my deepest gratitude to your spirit, your guides, your spirit messengers, or angel source, and my spirit guides for anchoring us in this energy today. And with that being said, until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Welcome back, my fellow humans. I'm so honored to be here sharing this human experience and this journey of growth and healing with you. Remember that if a trigger does arise on the reading, don't force it to fit. And you can see that friction as a sacred blueprint to deepen your own healing journey and growth. So for pile 2, if you were drawn to this yellow Jasper with the solar plexus chakra seed sound Ram, or perhaps you felt called to this beautiful Grackle feather, if I can get that in there, or if you were called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading, the divine message meant for you now. So we are going to start with the dice. We're going to move on to the tarot, and then we'll look at the oracles last. Now, for you, pile 2, I was getting a channeled energy, and that's that you are holding on to personal power or growing into personal power right now. And this has been something that has gained momentum for you, especially recently. And so I do feel like that's something that we're going to be talking about a lot here. But let's go ahead and find out what your energy is right now with the dice. For pile number 2, what is your energy right now? Source, what would you like to share for pile number 2? All right, so we've got the 11th house, we have Pisces energy, and we have the North Node. Yeah, this makes total sense. So when we're looking at the sense of personal power, what you're seeing now is who is for you and who isn't. There's definitely a lot of discernment that's coming up for you, and I feel like your energy has been relying on that discernment. And it's helped you to really move forward towards your North Star. What it is that you're meant to be doing, like who you want to share yourself with, right? That can be one person, it can be the world, it can be a small group of people or a small community. Whatever it is that you feel that resonates as, right? But there's something here where maybe up until recently, or even you noticed the pattern from your past where you were always allowing a certain type of person into your life, or you were trying to maybe people please certain types of people in your life because you felt like you needed to chase them, or you felt like you needed something from them, or you felt like even the fix it Jane, fix it Joe, right? Okay, fix it Ralph, come on down now. Right? And we've all, I laugh because I've been in that energy too, where we feel like we can fix it all if we just have enough time with a person. But what ends up happening is we give away our power in situations like that, because we're saying like, I have to fix you, I have to control who you become. And our entire identity becomes focused on whether or not we're able to fix the said person. And what is really fixing them? Is it fixing them to our degree of acceptableness, or is it truly fixing them in offering them healing tips and offering them advice? Because if we're truly looking to help people, we're not trying to actually fix anybody. We're just offering our wisdom and allowing it to land where it may. But when we're in that fix-it phase, we're trying to mold people into what we think is the best version of them, and not necessarily the best version of who they can be. It's just our perceived best version of them, which is an illusion. But sometimes it becomes so much of who we are that it's hard for us to let go of that. And I do feel like that's something that may have driven you for quite a bit of your journey. And it might not have been people, it might have been situations, maybe fixing situations or repairing situations to a certain degree, or trying to find peace in the chaos is coming through as well. But whatever it was, there was definitely something here that you were hidden from, or something that was hidden from you where you weren't able to see it when it came to the way that you interacted with communities. And your current energy is now seeing that illusion for what it is and realizing, like, I don't have to hold on to this anymore. Like, I don't have to try to appease said people because they want me to change, and I don't need them to change. I realize that this is just not resonant energy, and so I can move on, and I can be free to move on. And it's like a weight lifted off of your shoulders, and you're able to put down that burden. And that's what this really feels like, is where now your energy is moving into something that's far more aligned with your higher good, and far more aligned with you connecting with Soul Tribe, and letting go of past energies that maybe made you feel guilty or ashamed, or there was a lot of blame involved in those connections. And that's something that you're seeing it for what it is. And I also feel like you're honoring, is this learned guilt? And I'll explain this in just a second. Is this learned guilt, or is this real guilt? You know, when someone makes us feel guilty. So an example would be like, oh, your mom is maybe bothering you to get married, right? Like, oh, how could you not be married? When I was your age, I was already married and had 3 kids, and you were already growing by that point. And like, how could you not be married? I just can't believe that you would hurt me like this, right? That's an example of learned guilt. That's when someone uses how they feel as a means to guilt us into doing something that they want us to do. And versus if you lied to your mom, right? This is actual guilt, is that you lied to your mom and you felt crappy because you lied to your mom. Would you know that telling her the truth would have been the right thing, but you lied because of fear, or because you were trying to protect her, or whatever it was, and then she finds out the truth later, and then that comes to the head, and she's talking to you about it and saying, like, why didn't you just tell me the truth at that time? That's real guilt, right? Like, I hurt her because I wasn't trusting myself, or I hurt her because I thought I was trying to protect her, but I realized, like, oh, she had the ability to handle this, right? And that's just an example. You can use that with anybody. But real guilt is when we actually hurt somebody, right? When we hurt them emotionally or mentally or physically. But learned guilt is when someone uses and weaponizes their emotions as a means to getting us to do what we want, what they want us to do, right? So let's get some more out on this with the tarot. The divine message meant for you now. What is anchored in your life right now, pile 2? Yeah, a lot of negativity. A lot of relationships that they're not very profound. They're not even very intimate. I don't feel that at all. So let's see what this is. Yeah, so what's coming is justice, the balancing out of these situations, the balancing out of the guilt. I felt that from the beginning with the dice. There's something here that's shifting, where now you're stepping into a more empowered state, a more empowered sense of being. So what is the message your guides want you to receive right now? That you're not alone. Excuse me. My goodness. That you're not alone. Yeah, the 3 of Wands. You are getting assistance from this. You have options available to you. You don't have to go on the next phase of your journey alone, where you may have been alone for a long time, right? What is your next step, your next actionable step to take? Okay. letting go of the temptation to go back to old situations. Bottom of the deck, yeah, the 10 of Swords in the reverse. These are very exhausting situations. And when we say temptations, you know, it's just, it could be just fulfilling that egoic want that, like, the ego's like, oh no, this is what I need in my life right now. This is who I am. This is the way I've always done things, right? And you could be like, well, we're learning not to do that anymore. We're learning something different. And again, it could be like when somebody makes you feel guilty for you being you, and then you minimize yourself, right? Like that would be the temptation, is to do the easy thing, the thing that's been the easiest so far, to minimize yourself, right? To fall back into the emotional ego. It's like also this difficulty of detaching yourself from an unhealthy bond. There's something here that's codependent. Now, it could be a person, okay? It could be a person, but it could be a situation. It could be a job. It could be anything. And so your action, your next step, your next action is to learn how to effectively detach yourself from the temptation, from the unhealthy bond, from this very difficult situation. This is somebody that at some point, or something at some point, that you had put on a pedestal because you thought it was really grand, or you thought it was really great. But now as things balance out, you're starting to see that what was so grand or what was so great about the situation, right? Like if it was a job, maybe the job paid really well, or they had really, really amazing benefits, or they had really amazing opportunities for growth, right? Like these are all things that, like, of course, that's the temptation. We're like, yeah, that's great. But it could have been asking you to work 80 hours a week on a salary, whereas they might have presented their salary as a good salary. And it did look good if you were only working 40 hours a week. But because it's salary, they own you and they make you work 80 hours a week. You're exhausted. You have no space. You can't do anything. And they're still trying to sell it as like, oh, you have a great salary, but then when you break it down per hour, it's not a great salary. It's absolutely trash salary, but they sold it as though you were only going to ever work overtime a few times a month, but now you're working consistently at 80 hours. Again, this is just the example, right? And then their guilt would be, their learned guilt would be like, well, you signed on for this. And that's a learned guilt, because they're saying like, well, I'm the one that signs your paycheck, right, at the end of the day. But you have to look at it as this. That's not what they promised. You'd be like, that's not what you promised. This is not what you offered me. And so maybe you have said that, but regardless, the situation has become incredibly exhausting. It's become incredibly overwhelming. I feel like you've been trying to get sleep, but no matter how much you sleep, you still feel exhausted, you still feel overwhelmed, you still feel irritable, which is understandable. It's because you're burning the candle at both ends. That's what this really feels like here. But the situation's not changing, and that's what the divine message is here, is that it's not changing. There's nothing about the situation that's just going to magically, you're going to wake up one day and it's going to be okay. But what is balancing out, right? What is anchoring in your life right now is you're realizing that no matter what, right? So again, if this is, again, just the example, we're going to use the job situation because that's what was coming through. But no matter what, you're starting to look at this in that same manner. You know what? When they hired me, they promised me this amazing salary. They told me that I would be working 5-10 hours overtime tops a month. They promised me all these things that they're not giving me. They promised me all these benefits that they're not giving me. There's stipulations that come with those benefits. Like, they painted a really beautiful picture of who they were to you. And you're seeing that it's really just a black blob on a white canvas screen. And they have turned on lights to make it look like a beautiful picture. And you're realizing that this isn't actually what I signed up for. This is not what I want to do. And so you're realizing like you have options. Like, you don't have to stay in a situation like that, right? This could be a house too. I'm seeing a house. Like, maybe this is a house that's you're renting, or you could be buying, and it's like there's all these beautiful features in this house, and Maybe when you got into the house, it did look very beautiful on the surface, but you were there for a week and then suddenly the hot water heater went out, and then suddenly you found that there was a huge break in the wood floor, or a big old crack, and the foundation was moving, and it's something that takes tens upon tens of thousands of dollars to fix. Like, this is not something that they sold to you. This is just junk and trash. They put on this beautiful screen that they made it look really good, and it's not, and you're starting to see, like, I don't have to put up with this, like, I don't have to go through this. And so you're gonna be shown your options, and that's what your spirit guides want you to know right now, is that the options are clear. And they might not be huge. Like, this might not be like moving to another house. It could be that they're going to be responsible for it, right? Like, it could be something like that. I don't know how all that works, but I want to give you guys some ideas as to what it is that's coming. So, like, if this is a job, maybe you're having options. You're like, well, I can go and talk to somebody. Like, I have a right to legal counsel when it comes to this. And you talk to someone and they tell you what your rights are. Right? Or this is a situation where you're with a person, you're dealing with a person, and you recognize, like, I don't have to give them my energy. I can just go and hang out by myself, or I can put my time and energy and effort into things that matter for me, right? But you're going to see the options here. And the actionable step is to not let this situation, for lack of a better phrasing, dupe you back into a place of being a prisoner to it, because I do feel like that's what it was. You're being a prisoner to this situation, or you would become a prisoner to this situation, which is why it was so exhausting. There is an out here. There's a new portal that's opening for you, and that totally makes sense with the personal power, that energy that came through at the beginning. The personal power. This is about taking back your power, no longer letting someone or something dictate your life situation to you. You're saying enough is enough. I see who I am, and I choose to stand tall and empowered in who I am. What is next for pile number 2, source? What would you like to share with us? What is next? Whoa, okay. So we have the 6 of Wands with success. And I also feel like this is someone coming in. I feel like there's a person that's going to come in and help you here. So you're not going to be doing this alone. It does feel like you're going to gain an ally from this situation, maybe even a lifelong friend for some of you. We have moment to moment. It came in the reverse. I don't take these in the reverse. This is the 2 of coins. But with the 2 of coins in the Tarot Marseille, it talks about a myriad of twists and turns when it's in the reverse. And you being able to really, truly take them as they come. And I feel like for moment to moment to come out, that's exactly what it's saying. It's just have an end goal, but show up moment to moment. Don't be so focused on the end goal. Just hold it there in your mind, but focus on the here and now. Focus on the actionable steps you can take right now. Yeah, and then compromise with the 6 of coins. And we have 6 and 6 coming out together, which is about balance, resolution, harmony, seeing yourself through eyes of unconditional love. And with compromise, I feel like it's just compromising in the sense of not with the situation anymore, but maybe with your expectations of the situation. Or maybe you said, like, oh, if I just hang out, if I just hang on for a little bit longer, it's going to come together. It's all going to work out for me. And maybe it's about, maybe I should just really say, look at it for what it is without the rose-colored glasses and go look for another position or go look for another job in another company, right? So again, that's the compromise. It feels like an internal compromise with self, okay? With maybe the ego's been trying to say, like, oh, we have to stay in this situation. We have to continue down this. But you're saying, like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. And so there's other options for me. Bottom of the deck, we have playfulness with the Page of Wands. Yeah, and coming back to your emotions, your expression, your self-expression. I feel like you've been a little bit dull recently, and that's not a jab. That's not a jab. It's just this energy of not having the energy to be yourself, right? So you become dull, you become muted, you become not boring. That's not the word here. It just feels like you just have no energy to entertain even yourself, right? You can't laugh at jokes. You just become completely numb to the world outside of you. And that's what it's showing here. It's like when you're able to really truly see these options for what they are and realize, like, I don't have to be bogged down by this just because it was the best option. It might look amazing on paper, but that doesn't make it amazing in reality, right? And don't let people try to tell you, like, oh, but this is the best job you're ever going to have, or this is the best situation you're ever going to have in your life. You know what? Maybe that's true for them, but that doesn't make it true for you. And you are okay with that. Like, be okay with that, right? Like, that's also compromising on the ego. All right, so let's get some more out for you here. Well, I guess I'll go for this one first because they wanted this one first. So I do have a new deck coming out today. Well, 2 new decks, but this is the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses by Tony Carmine's Salerno. Yeah, Salerno. And I do have to check these off camera because some of his pictures are a little risque. It's an absolutely gorgeous deck, just for those of you that are interested. But yeah, we do have, I'll show this one. We do have the Goddess of Shadows coming out. What you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. And there's a snake wrapped around her. It's not covering her, but there's a snake, if you can see it here. Yeah, and so I do feel like there's something hidden in the shadow. There's something that is asking to be seen. And here, it shows all the chakras. There's the throat chakra, the heart chakra, which is covered, which I have to cover, and the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra here, and the flames on the crown. And so you see the chakra alignment here. There's alignment that's coming, but also there's something that you're burning away. It's like some journey that you're walking that's burning you, and it's tough and it's difficult, but you're burning away the old, and that's what's revealing the shadow part to you, where maybe before you were compromising for this situation for what it was, right? That's the shadow is saying, well, it looks so good on paper. Like, why would I let it go? But now you're looking at it for what it truly is and saying, like, why wouldn't I let it go? Why do I have to sell myself for a situation that's not benefiting me in any one way, shape, or form, except that it looks really good on paper? I'm exhausted. I'm irritable. I'm absolutely miserable, right? That's not a good situation. And that's what this feels like. So they want me to show you this. This was underneath the playfulness. We have the Knight of Swords with the mind. This is what it feels like. This is that wild, crazy energy here that's coming through. I'm going to leave it out because it wants to be seen. But it's this energy of not being grounded. It's going over all of the options that you have, but not making sense of anything. It feels like there's no sense to any of this. And I feel like that it's just constantly going and going and going and never being able to wind down. Like, you might even dream about your job or dream about the situation. You're just like, gosh, I can't even get away from it when I'm asleep. Like, what the heck? And it's because it's just constantly on your mind. And that's an indication that it's not necessarily the right thing for you. Like, if you're waking up and you're like, oh my gosh, I seriously dreamed about work. I can't believe. Now, if you're waking up and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I dreamed about work. Like, I'm really glad. I like that. You know, like, I'm glad that it gave me some information. That's definitely not the message for you. But this is for those of you that, like, if you go to sleep, you're dreaming about work, you wake up and you're miserable because you dreamt about work, and then you're miserable because you have to go back into work, right? Like, that's what this is. Yeah, Pisces energy again, intimacy, intuition, and compassion. This feels like about having compassion for yourself, right? 2222 is coming out for you as well. You could be Pisces. You could have Pisces highly aspect in your chart. This could be a Pisces that you're dealing with. This could be a Libra or a Capricorn that you're dealing with, or an Aries. Or you're going to have a Pisces, a Libra, a Capricorn, or Aries come in, and they're going to help you through this. Like, they're going to help you be they're going to be the ally for you in this situation. Don't settle for less. Exactly. That's what this feels like. You're settling for less than what you deserve, right? You are a child of divine, and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. This is like the treasure box here, right? Archangel Michael, that's what the AM is for. So I just feel like this is Archangel Michael saying, like, I've got your back. Keep going and don't settle for less just because it looks good or because everybody's trying to convince you that it's good. Is it really good for you? You know, if they want it, tell them, you know what, if you think it's that great, then why don't you go and do it? Because I'm miserable, right? And you don't have to explain yourself, but sometimes it's a good thing to throw back at people because they're trying to make it seem like, how could you be so ungrateful for such a great opportunity? And you're not. Like, I feel like that's the thing. Like, you put your heart and soul into this, but so much so that at some point you lost yourself. And that's not healthy, right? That's not healthy at all. Look at this. I love this. Oh my gosh. What a confirmation source. Thank you so much for you. Pile 2 is saying it's all about your personal power. That was the message that came out for me before I even started your reading. We have personal power coming out here, and strength and determination. Yeah, this is all about taking back your power. Being determined to find something that feels good for you. It's not about being perfect, right? We're not looking for the perfect thing. But if it's slowly eating away at us inside, like, that's something to observe and honor, because that's giving us valuable data and information to move forward, right? We have a time to give rather than take. And so I feel like I had this in another message earlier this week, but I feel like this is about giving back to yourself. Right? And I feel like staying in this situation is taking something, because it's not only taking away from you, but it's like you're taking it, like, again, if it's a job and it pays really well, but you're miserable, like you're taking the money over yourself, right? You've basically sold your soul for the money. And that's not healthy. That's idolizing money. And then that means that the money has a hold on you. Money will always dictate you if you let it. And it's just a tool for us in life. And I know that the world is run by money. I get that. But also, if we've sold our soul for money, we lose ourselves. And I feel like that's, again, the temptation. So there's something very enticing about what it is that you do, or this situation, or this person. And you're taking something for yourself because it's enticing. Like, say you're with somebody who's incredibly beautiful or incredibly handsome. Like, everybody you meet, they're, wow, your partner is so good looking. How did you get someone that was that good looking? You could be really good looking too, but I mean, I'm talking like model status, where drop jaw, everybody's staring in the room at this person like, oh my gosh, how did you get someone that looked like that? You know, and that's the ego, right? The ego's like, yeah, that's right, they're mine. But they could treat you like crap, but you're staying with them because they look good and everybody mentions it, right? That's you selling yourself. That's you letting go and taking something for the ego rather than giving back to yourself, right? And that's what this feels like with the new moon in Virgo. Yeah, and then we have the South Node here. Don't let your past hold you back. So again, a past belief, a past pattern coming into play right now. We're trying to move forward into the North Node, and you're doing a very good job of that. But I do feel like there's absolutely doubts, right? There's absolutely doubts where you could definitely backslide at any time. And they're saying to stay true to your journey, stay true to this movement that you're about to take, or that you are in the process of taking. We have underwater gardens. Nurture the garden of your heart, cultivating seeds of compassion, gratitude, and forgiveness. Again, having kindness and gratitude and compassion for yourself, and maybe even forgiving yourself. You know, like, maybe that's it. Forgive yourself for choosing something that looked really good but wasn't good, right? It's okay to forgive ourselves. That's healthy for us to do, right? And that's what helps us let go of those past actions. That's what helps us let go of those past emotions that continue to get us wrapped up in situations that aren't necessarily beneficial for us. The Ocean's Offering, listening to the whispers of your soul and let the beauty of simplicity guide you. So simplifying your life right now is going to be like primo. Okay, it's going to be primo for you. It's going to be prime opportunity. Prime real estate is just simplifying things right now. Okay, coming back into this place of peace, coming back into this place of zen. Find the beauty and the simplicity in life. Going and sitting with nature, going and resting, taking time for yourself. Like, if this is from a job, maybe you need to take some PTO and reconnect with yourself. Turn off all notifications from your work. Turn off the ringer for your work, right? Like, all these things, and reconnect to yourself. Maybe even get out of the town for a little while and reconnect, right? These are things that you can do for yourself, but it does feel like you need to come back to yourself, which is easier said than done in this very fast-paced world. I completely agree. Look, I can't make this up. We have Star Maiden with rest. So there's a need for you to rest at this time. Like, this is very powerful for you, is to take some time to yourself, to rest, to recalibrate. You might have resonated with pile number 1, or you're here from pile number 1, and that's especially true for those of you that came from pile number 1, okay? And if you weren't called to pile 1, you don't have to watch it, but if you were, there might be additional messages for you there. Okay, so we have self-care, 7, 8, 9, practice self-care. Ensure you're getting enough rest and engaging in activities that bring joy into your life, right? Got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay, right? Like, that's, you're bringing joy back into your life. With the Page of Wands, is like bringing back that playfulness, that sense of self, right? Empowering yourself to enjoy life again. You have a lot of resilience, and you have a lot of resolve, and you can do anything you put your mind to, pile 2, which is so admirable, and it's actually an incredible trait that you have. But also, I feel like people have taken advantage of that many, many times in your life, and I feel like this situation is no different. And it's just reminding yourself that even though I have a ton of resolve and I can do anything that I put my mind to, it doesn't mean I have to burn myself out because of that, okay? So on the bottom of the deck, we've got evolution, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, evolution. You're evolving spiritually and emotionally, moving towards greater wisdom and understanding. So understanding yourself, I feel like that's the main thing here, is understanding yourself in a much more empowered sense. Realizing it's okay for you to say no, realizing it's okay for you to take space and time, realizing it's okay for you to set boundaries, realizing it's okay for you to ask for something that's more aligned, right? All of these things are okay, and you don't need to put them on the back burner any longer. Isaiah, it's a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I'm watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you during these changes. Some of you could also be trying to get pregnant, right? And so if you're trying to expand your family, but maybe making it very structured, that could be keeping it from happening at times. It does. I know you want to get into the ovulation window. Like, I know that that's a powerful time. But when it becomes less spontaneous and more structured, it loses its je ne sais quoi, right? Like, it just becomes a chore rather than something that's enjoyable. And that's true of both parties involved. And so remembering to still let spontaneity take you over. Like, don't have everything so planned. And maybe even still, like, in life, maybe that's the other thing too. If you're not looking for kids, it's just bringing back that spontaneity into your journey. Like, not making everything so structured all the time. Like, structure is good, having plans are good, but sometimes it can be too overwhelming. Okay, I have to look at this card off camera to see if it's okay to show or if I gotta cover it up. Okay, good, we're good. We have the Goddess of Psychic Protection. What you believe you create, no one can harm you. So remembering that you are protected, okay? Even through this difficult time, you are protected. Okay, so we've got Leo, self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. We want you to come back to your sense of creativity. like you ever have a moment where the message just clicks and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get it now. That's what it feels like. It's like there's like this moment of clicking, like, oh, okay, yep. There's a lot of structure in your life. There's a lot of like scheduling every moment. You know, this is weird. The other day, so I was talking to my AI pocket assistant. And I'm not the biggest fan of AI, but I do see its usefulness. And so I was wondering if it would actually set up an entire week's plan for me. Like, would it plan out every moment of every day for me? And I was wondering if it could do that. And so I gave it all the activities and all the things I had to do and all the business and all the work that I had to create and all the stuff and the time that I was leaving, the time that I was coming back, laundry, chores, everything. And I put it in there, and my AI created this day planner for me. And I sat there and I looked at it and I was like, wow, if I stick to every little thing that I sent, I would have no time for myself. It looked impressive. It sounded impressive, but I was sitting there like, oh no, 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 that's way too much. That is way too much. Where am I going to have time for myself? I was literally going from one thing to the other and never having time. Like, you know, like sometimes I take time from going from meditation into yoga, and going from yoga into breath work, and going from yoga into dancing, or whatever it is, right? Like even coming onto these readings, I don't just start the reading right away. I spend time in prayer and meditation before I even get on the reading, and setting intentions and talking to source and asking the way that the reading, you know, what is it that you want me to do? What is it that will be best aligned with me right now? Like I'd spend time doing these things before I just step into the next project. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh no. But sometimes we think that that plan, because it looks so impressive, that that's what's gonna make us look successful, but it's not. Sometimes we have to romanticize our lives and let go of things and just know, like, okay, so I don't have as much time to do this as I would like, but I'm still going to integrate it on certain days. Like maybe instead of dancing on this day, I'll choose to do art instead, right? Like it's just making sacrifices, it's making compromises, but still focusing on self-care, right? So that's something else that's coming in. Trust your angels, 36. Let go of your expectations of how your dreams will come true. Trust that heaven has a perfect plan. So it's okay for you to plan, but also trust in the divine plan. That's the thing here. Resourcefulness, intelligence, mental action, and right thinking, right? Yes, use your resources, your intuition, your heart. What does your heart want? Where do you feel like you're being guided to? The gut feelings that you're getting, right? Like all of that is part of your resources, part of your tools. They all matter. Merlin, cosmic knowledge. For these three cards to come out together, this feels like you're incredibly connected, but you don't realize just how intuitive you are. You don't realize how connected you are. So taking a step back from this fast-paced energy will help you reconnect with your internal compass. And that's something that's really, really meaningful for you, pile number 2. Celeste. A happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This move will usher in positive new energy. How synchronistic was that? Because I got that as 2 channeled messages, was a house or a job. Like those are the 2 things that came in above being a person. Those were the 2 things that came in the strongest. So wow, so synchronistic. I have the hiccups all of a sudden. But take a breath. Let me take a drink. We're going to check out your card. I'll read this from the book. Okay, we'll see what it is. We have the Star Brothers. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. And I feel like for you, pile 2, like let's just talk about this protection for just a second, because you got the goddess of psychic protection, right? Like you got a lot of cards that we're talking about. You're protected. I don't know where all of them are, but there's something coming in about realizing, like, even though it's scary to walk away from something that you know, or something that you might trust, or something that you feel like can get you further, but is actually just hindering your progress, right? They're saying to trust in the guidance you're receiving from the crown chakra here that's lighting your heart on fire. There's something that you have to offer. There's something that you have to give that is worth a lot. Okay, and it's not something that money can buy. It's just so valuable to the world. The world needs this now, and that's why it's saying, it's like, whether that is a specific kind of job that you do or living in a specific neighborhood, there's a reason why you're being called to trust right now instead of trying to force. And when you let go of forcing and you trust the process, things are going to start being a lot easier for you. And a lot more calm. I feel like that's the main thing, is calm. You need some calm in your life right now. You've been through it a lot. Star Brother. All right, let's read this from the book and see what Star Brother has to say, or Star Brothers, I should say. And also the Eye of Horus is our 3rd eye. So again, connecting with our intuition. It says you're more protected than you can imagine. It's safe to open the back of your heart. You're being called to be open to receiving a new level of support now from those in your life and from the benevolent beings you're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and past life karmic impressions, many of us have become mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty, and we have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at it alone. that it's not safe to let our guard down and open our heart, that the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want you to have a new experience of life on Earth. They want you to feel deeply secure and safe. Even if you're going through a difficult time, they want you to hand over your fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding you to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than you could ever imagine, both in this world and beyond. To call in your team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want you to learn to soften through life's up and downs, and to learn to open your heart, especially when it most wants to harden. Your inquiry is, how can you open yourself up to receiving more support? And I feel like that's interesting because you also got the 11th house here, which talks about community, like-minded people, connecting around the world, either via internet or in person. It's just really connecting with our soul tribe. And I feel like that's really, really synchronistic for you, because it's that reminder that it's okay for you to lean on the people you trust right now the most, right? Leaning on those people will help you. But if they're telling you you need to keep being in a state of misery, or that you need to keep doing something because it looks good, then that is information for you to realize, like, okay, these are not my soul tribe people. Like, I may trust them a lot, but they're more focused on superficial things than they are about how I feel. And how you feel means everything. That means everything, because when you feel good, then the world mirrors that back to you. Okay? So this is what I see here for you today, pile number 2. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little third eye or single eye emoji down below and say, today I open up and trust my intuitive guidance, knowing that my heart is empowered and empowering me and leading me to a road that is less traveled, but ultimately where I want to be. And if this reading, I forgot what I was trying to say. I just totally lost my spot right there. So if this reading spoke to your soul, please like. You're welcome to share your story in the comments. Subscribe. You can support the journey and explore today's tools in the description box links. And I would love to offer my deepest gratitude to your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, for anchoring us in this energy today. And with that being said, pile number 2, until next time, stay human. Bye. Welcome back, my fellow humans. I'm so honored to be here sharing this human experience with you. Please remember that if a trigger arises during this reading, don't force it to fit, and view that friction as a sacred blueprint for your personal healing and growth journey. So with that, this is for those of you who chose the Jade Heart Chakra gemstone with the seed sound yam on it. I have them written down over here, so and for those of you that felt called to this feather, and I apologize, I don't know what this comes from, but I do know it comes off of a bird that hangs out near the ocean, so I don't know if that helps. Found it in Rockport. I was walking along the beach. And for those of you that might have been drawn to this card during the shuffle, we're going to be looking into divine messages meant for you now. We're going to start with the dice. We're going to move on to the tarot, and then we're going to look into the oracles towards the end. So with that being said, let's get an energy read where you're at right now with the dice. So what is your energy right now? Pile number 3. What is your energy right now, pile number 3? Source, what would you like to share with us for pile 3? Whoa, wrinkle. Okay, so we've got the 5th house, we've got Cancer energy, and we've got Uranus. Okay, your energy is really playful right now. It's like you are moving into a place where you're able to recognize codependent patterns. very clearly, and you're able to make changes based on those codependent patterns. Like whether that's setting a boundary or just simply saying no, like simply realizing I'm not here to chase after someone. I'm not here to try to bring them back to me. Like I'm not here to try to make myself be seen by them if they are refusing to see me, whatever the situation is. And this could be like you're interested in dating, and that's something you're recognizing in the dating pool right now, is there's a lot of people who expect you to chase after them, and when you don't, they block you, they ghost you, they never show back up. And I feel like you're learning that in life, that the people who are for you are going to show up. They're not going to make you question where you stand, right? And they're not going to make you wonder where they stand either. Like they're going to be real and sincere in their approach to you, and they're going to be consistent with that as well. And I feel like that's something that you're learning, and it's a very powerful lesson that it feels like you're learning right now. And I feel like receiving has maybe been something of an irritation for you along your journey. Like it's been very difficult for you to receive love or to receive kindness or even to receive help. Like that might have been something that was really challenging for your journey. And I was getting this, I totally spaced it out, but they just reminded me, there's the energy for you, pile 3, that was coming through is new hope, like a new beginning, a new hope, a new chapter. New hope was what came through though, new hope. So a hopeful beginning is coming through for you. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like you're letting go of the old version of you that allowed people in your life where you had to settle, or you had to choose to settle in order to keep them around. And now you're letting people show you who they are. And part of that's about you taking leadership in your own life, right? Leadership for self is coming in really strongly here, but also recognizing the patterns that maybe were repeating in your life time and time again, right? So it does feel like those are codependent situations that keep coming back, right? So unbalanced situations. And now you're also healing the inner child. I feel like that's something that's coming through really strongly as well, as healing the inner child and having a lot more fun with life and just being a lot more free in a sense, and not worrying about how you seem or how you look to others. Like people are either going to accept you or they're not. And that's kind of the energy that you're in right now, is like, I don't care. They're going to accept me. They're not going to accept me. Either way, I'm going to be me, because that's the only me I can be. And that's this energy that's coming through. It's actually really profound. You know, you might really resonate with the collective message that we did at the beginning. And if you would like to check that out or feel called to that, you'll see it time-stamped in the description box below. It's not a requirement. All right, let's get some tarot out on it and find out some more. Maybe having difficulty setting boundaries, or a lot of unfair situations coming into your life, or a lot of unfair situations like losing money or people stealing from you, like, you know, ideas, or stealing your time. Like that's a thing too. I feel like you're recognizing these energies for what they are now, realizing like, oh, this person is just trying to take advantage of my time, and this person, they just want me because I have unique ideas. Like they don't actually care about me, right? Versus, oh my gosh, this person, they really, you know, love me, they care about me, they always check up on me, they make sure that I'm okay, they give me love. Like this is somebody I can trust in my life, right? And I feel like that's something that's really powerful for you, pile 3, right now. Well, let's get some more divine messages meant to find you now, meant for you now. All right. What is anchored in your life right now, pile number 3? Okay. Yeah, manipulation. Someone has been incredibly brutal with you. They are not very nice to you at all. They treat you like dirt. And that's not fair. That's not fair at all, pile 3. Like, this is someone who doesn't respect you. They don't see you as an equal at all. They see you as less than them. And because they see you as less than them, like, they don't feel like they owe you anything. But they expect everything from you. They expect you to drop everything and help them. They expect you to chase after them. They expect you to make everything right when they're blowing up and having a tantrum, if you will, because it feels like this is somebody who's really childish too. But anytime the Emperor comes out in the reverse, this just really feels like someone who has a lot of narcissistic tendencies, or just is someone who's just very rude and unforgiving and incredibly disconnected from the reality of connection, right? They don't see value in connection. They see value in control. And so what's anchored in your life right now is there's somebody either from your past and it's a memory you're letting go of, or someone currently anchoring in your life where they're trying to control you. They're trying to control an outcome with you. They want you to be there for them. What is the message your guides want you to receive right now? Okay, so this is very specific for someone here. This could be father energy with both the Emperor and the Pope coming out. But I feel like what your guides, the message your guides want you to receive right now is that there's a lot of politics at play in regards to this situation. There's a lot of bureaucracy. This person, and it feels like a person, they feel older than you. They don't have to be, okay? Like, again, energy is fluid. You could be older than they are. But the thing is that this person plays an incredible act out in society. They're well liked by everybody. They're seen as the golden child. They are seen as everybody's personal friend. Like, they get along so well with everyone outside. But the minute it's you and them behind closed doors, they turn into this brutal monster. Brutal. Like, you don't feel like you are enough. You don't feel like you deserve good things because they make it seem like you don't deserve good things. Like, you're just here to serve them, to serve a purpose for them. Like, they've really painted that picture or that environment. It feels like an environment that you're in. And what your guides want you to receive now is that, yes, what you're feeling is true with this person. They want to confirm your intuition because there's something here that feels you may have come from another one of the piles. And I really quickly just want to mention, if you've spent this entire reading with me, you're a part of my Purple Heart Club. You leave a purple heart below. I know what that means. And also, if you stick around until after pile 3 is done, I have a little special something for my Purple Heart Clubs, okay? But I feel like this is like from another reading. There was this energy where this is someone that was like really expecting you to, I don't know, this is a very, very difficult energy. It's very difficult. It's a person. This feels like a person. It feels like a person who is using you as a means to look like a hero, is using you as a means to look better than they are, is using you as a means to like prove some point to other people. And the thing is, like, I'm getting this energy where if you go around the people that know this person, like, they're always glaring at you, or they may say some unkind things to you too. Like, well, how could you treat this person like that, pile 3? And I feel like at a time you may have defended yourself. You may have been like, what are you talking about? That is not at all how I treat them. That's not at all how things are. And a lot of these people were just taking this person's word for how you are. And I feel like the thing is that something has shifted where you recognize, like, if none of these people want to ask me the role that I play in this situation, then they're not even worth being my friends. Like, they're not even worth me trying to get to know or trying to build a bridge to, because they're showing me the truth of the situation. They're showing me they would rather entertain the drama from this person than to understand the situation in its entirety, right? Everybody's so quick to look at one side of the coin, not realizing that there's a whole nother side that's hidden. And that's true. That's human nature. Like, that's a really human nature. And I feel like, you know, again, I'm not trying to pick at a wound here or anything like that. It's just, it feels like what's happening now is that your guides and source, they really want you to know that this is a situation that is being shifted. You're recognizing the codependent patterns that you had with this person or with this situation. And that's what you're moving away from. Like, there's somebody that's coming into your life, or there's a group of people who are coming into your life that are helping to inspire you to spend time with either them or with more encouraging and positive people. What is your next step of action? Pile 3. Yeah, oh my gosh, this is wild. You got 3 mystery cards all in the reverse. I want to check out the bottom of the deck before we talk about this one. Oh, thank you so much for this confirmation. The Star. You cannot get more hopeful than the Star. You cannot. We're talking about a new hope. This situation was crushing. And, you know, when we talk about that, it's like, with this, your next step of action, I feel like, is recognizing that this person isn't actually crushing your spirit as much as you'd been giving your power away to them. And that's hard sometimes, right? Like, that's like, no, but they're just, and I get that. I get that. But if we are constantly focused on the negative in the people that are around us, we're never going to see the positive that lives within us. And that's what this feels like. There's this energy of realizing that the spiritual defeat that you were feeling, it comes from the situation, yes, but it also comes from some wound that's making itself known. But to empower yourself is to realize that you don't have to be focused on this situation. It can be in the background, right? In the background, out of sight, out of mind, and focusing on filling up the things that matter for your life. So whether that's arts and crafts, or going and enjoying, like, movie critiquing is coming in. That, I don't think I've ever had that come in, but that's coming in, like movie critiquing, or enjoying your own shows, or building something with your hands. Woodworking is coming in, painting, going and connecting with people like a yoga community or a spiritual community. This really feels like you're turning your focus, and that's what your guides want you to know, is like your focus is turning to something that is more hopeful, something that is more fulfilling, something that is more freeing than the situation. Is this spiritually defeating? Yes, it is. But also, on the bright side, is that you have complete power over how you choose to feel in this situation, which is why what they want you to receive from this is the Pope in reverse, is that this person is not going to change. They're out for themselves. They're looking out for number one. They don't care who gets demolished in that path. And they're going to continue down that path. They're looking for control. That's the only thing that they're focused on, is control. And that is really difficult in a situation like this, especially when maybe you've given everything to them, or you've really put in a lot of effort for them. Like, if this is somebody you're dating, or if this is somebody that you have a relationship with, or if this is somebody that could even be family or a friend, right? It doesn't matter, but it does feel like this is just someone who likes a lot of chaos and drama, and they continue to create drama and chaos in your life, or they do the best to create drama and chaos in your life. And then if they can't, like if you're being successful at gray rocking them, or you're being successful at not being bothered by the way that they show up, then they're making sure that everybody that listens to them knows how terrible of a person that you are. And at this point, as crappy as that is, pile 3, and in you no way, shape, or form deserve that, as crappy as that is, sometimes we just have to wash our hands and say, you know what, whatever they say about me is true to those people, because it's gonna be true to those people. It's not that it's actually the truth, but it's just that they're going to choose to believe the drama, because some people just really love drama. They just really love it. And they cannot believe that there may be a person in here that's actually not a part of the drama, because they've already painted the picture in their head of who you are. And sometimes you just have to leave that picture for what it is and go and choose yourself in the situation. When you choose yourself in the situation, then you can refocus your energy on things that are more productive for you and your journey, and no longer focusing on the defeat from this situation. You know, what I'm getting with the Lover card here in the reverse is there's a lot of third-party situations involved in this. And I feel like for you, you want to defend yourself against these third parties, or this is somebody that you're with romantically and they've cheated on you, right? And that can point to the Lover card in reverse, can talk about infidelity and promiscuity. But I really feel like it's just pointing to third party situations and involved in this. And all those third parties have already been told about who you are, but they don't know who you are. And they're not going out of their way to find out who you are, because the drama is what keeps them coming back. It's almost like every day they come to this person, it's like their own very own personal update on the office, right? Like their very own office or their very own drama show, right? Like whatever is dramatic now, right? Like that's the thing. And so I feel like this is why it's so hard. And so now it's just realizing you don't have to defend yourself to these individuals, because they were never curious to get to know you. They didn't care to get to know you. Like they didn't care. They just wanted the entertainment instead. So, Source, can you tell us for pile 3 what they can expect with this new hope, this new beginning that's coming for them? Can you tell us what pile 3 can expect with this new hope, this new beginning that's coming for them? Yeah. Better insight, listening to your intuition, freedom, more depth, more profound, connected, intimate relationships. Whoa. Okay, like all of these popped out. This is the one that's going to come out. I'm going to take this one. I don't take these in the reverse, but we'll take a look at these two and I'll put them back in the deck. Again, I don't take these in the reverse. So we have the Sun with innocence, and then we have the Miser with the 4 of coins. So this is where they're at, and this is where you're at, right? Two different energies. Someone that's hoarding, somebody that wants to be seen, somebody that's very ego-based, someone that's very much like trying to get everything that they can from a situation, but still stuck. Like, look, this Miser is built into the stone wall. I don't know if you can see that. There might not be enough light here for you to see it, right? But then you look at this Innocence card with the Sun. It's like he's a much older man. He's a guru in life. He's mastered life, but he's still maintaining his sense of innocence, his sense of purity with self, right? There's still a sense of freedom. He's not stuck to what his ego wants. Instead, he's listening to the power of connection, the power of his intuition, the power of the light that's being shown. And I feel like that's something that's really powerful that you can expect on this new chapter. This new hopeful chapter is coming out of isolation. A really sad situation, a really hurtful situation. But also, it's interesting because the 3 of Swords and the Tarot Marseille, which is what I read, while this looks like the Rider-Waite-Smith version, right? I'm going to also include in the Tarot Marseille, which is talking about Source coming in with a divine intervention. So there's something that's happening in the spiritual realm that you do not see. And this is going to help lift you out of this situation, all right? And I do feel like it's a surprise for you, pile 3. Like, Source wants to keep it a surprise because it's going to be very meaningful to you, right? So we do have aloneness. Wow, so many mystery cards. And then we have the Knight of Coins with slowing down. Yeah. So you're not going to be defending yourself quite like you were. And I do feel like things are going to start slowing down for you. You're going to be living a much easier life moving forward. So it's not about waking up every day and being like, oh, how am I going to deal with this situation? What am I going to do about this? What's coming through? Oh my goodness. Like, I got to do this. I got to do that. And then I got to make sure that I take care of myself too, so that I'm not pouring from an empty cup. And it feels like you're just overwhelmed by things and things that you have to do to protect yourself. Things that you have to do to make sure that you're not getting baited into this situation anymore. And so you're in this place with the Hermit of really observing the past and really observing the situation for what it is. And there's a light in the dark here. There's the hope, right? The hope. The light and the dark is coming in here. And I want to leave the Sun card out for you here, because I feel like that's the thing. It's like the stars don't shine because, what is it, like, I can't remember that saying, like they shine because of the darkness, right? Like they shine in spite of the darkness. It's like, that's the thing. It's like you're shining in spite of the darkness here. You're shining in spite of the shadow that's coming through here. You're allowing yourself to experience something, and then all of a sudden there's going to be this shift that happens, and that's what they want you to know, is trusting your intuition here, especially with these two coming out together. What I was saying with the Pope is to trust your intuition, and then we have the Popess, which is the intuition card coming out on top of it. The inner voice is showing that right now it's all about trusting your intuition. Leaning into your intuition is going to help you move forward, and it is going to be a slow journey, but it is going to be something that's beneficial, because what happens next is also the break, the rest, the reprieve is what it feels like. So let's get some more information for you, Pile 3 Virgo. Yeah, integrity, reverence, and service. So I do feel like that's just reminding you to stay true to your daily routines. Whatever makes you feel good, pour into that. As much or even as little as you can, right? Like if you don't have an hour every day and you only got 20 minutes, like make the most of that 20 minutes with something that really fills you up. But don't just forego it just because you feel like you don't have the time, right? Because that's when you feel at your worst, I feel. Yeah, earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, persistence, patience, and practicality. I also feel like I need to tell you this: peace, patience, and persistence. Like remembering to lean on these, the 3 P's, peace, patience, and persistence. You are moving through this, even if it's at a slow pace. Even if it's at a slow pace, things are coming together for you. It does feel like whatever you've been trying to manifest, Pile 3, to help you up out of this situation is just a very large manifestation. And sometimes those much larger ones take a while to come to us, right? And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's just the way that it is. I have not brought these out before, but these are the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses cards by Tony Carmine Salerno. And I will have to check it off camera to make sure that it is camera appropriate, or if I have to cover it up. Beautiful cards, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so exactly, I have to cover this up. But we have Goddess of the Earth. It says an idea connected to imagination, creativity, and nature is coming your way. So you're going to be freeing yourself from the situation by finding something creative to pour into that's going to be feeding your imagination, or your imagination is going to be feeding it, and it's going to help you let go. Like she's tied to this tree. Like even her heart is up here, right? Like she's tied to this tree. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like you're going to be freed from a situation, and you're going to be reconnected to nature, to the world around you. And you're going to be so grounded in yourself that no matter how this person or this situation shows up, like you're not going to lose yourself ever again. That's a part of the past. You're going to see this person's antics. You're going to see their big play. Oh, that was the thing, like bring on the Oscars, because I feel like this person deserves one. They have definitely played a part, and I feel like you know that. Recognize the signs from above. Angels are sending you messages now, but you're too distracted to notice. Stay alert and open to the divine guidance. Yeah, so slowing down and listening to the divine guidance that you're getting, right? Recognizing those signs. They will lead you somewhere safe. They'll lead you somewhere peaceful. And sometimes we're just, you know, our fear is what's leading us, and that's why we end up getting stuck in situations like this. Or it's because it's somebody that's been with us for a long time, and our fear of leaving is what makes us stay in those situations, and that's understandable. You know, I've talked about my ex on this channel a lot, but I was afraid of leaving him because I was afraid of what he would do, because he was so abusive to me, and I was afraid to leave. And then on top of that, being 100% honest with myself, one of the other reasons that I chose to stay is because his little sister, I helped to take care of her and raise her, and I was in love with her. You know, like, you fall in love with kids. I know it sounds so weird, but that's the only way I can liken it to, is like, I fell in love with her. I cared about her so much, and I felt so bad about leaving her there alone. And so I had these two weights on my shoulders. Like, I can't leave, because what happens if he goes after me? What happens if he tracks me down? Like, he said at one point, he told me, if I ever slept with another man, even if we were broken up, like, he would find me and he would do me in. And I'm not trying to be vicious on here, but that's something that he told me, and that scared the living daylights out of me, because he was already vicious, you know. And it was like all these things. And then I was sitting there, and then in my mind I'm thinking, like, well, I can't leave his sister alone in this situation either, but sometimes we have to choose ourselves, you know. Like, she wasn't my blood, she had her mom in this situation too, and so I had to eventually choose myself. And that was probably the hardest thing that I'd ever done, but it was also the most freeing thing that I'd done, right? And that's why it's like, when you're dealing with someone who's incredibly toxic like this, it's hard, because you start to, like, you see the reality of the toxicity. And I feel like it's so undermining when people are like, well, why don't you just leave? It's easy to say. That is so easy to say. But when you're not emotionally attached to the situation, when you're on the outside looking in, when you think that if you were in that situation that you yourself would just leave and you wouldn't deal with it, that's a nice sentiment. It's a really nice sentiment, and I think that everybody eventually has a sentiment like that until you're involved in a situation like that, and then you realize, like, you're knees deep. When you get involved, you're knees deep in a situation like that, and it's hard. It's hard to leave. It's hard to let go. It's like, what if this happens? You're playing out all the worst possibilities in your mind when it comes to the situation, right? And the fear is what keeps you there, because it's like, at least I know what to expect. But when I leave, I don't know what to expect. And at some point, I convinced myself I was choosing my life over leaving, because that's how scary it was. That's how incredibly insane it was. And I look back now and I realize, like, the fear was a control tactic. It was a control tactic designed to keep me in line. Because the minute I left, like, this is, and this hurt. This hurt. Let me tell you this, Pile 3. This hurt so much. I left. When I left, I uprooted my life. I packed up my car and I drove 2,000 miles away. And I didn't call him. I didn't text him. I gave him a hug that morning, and I said goodbye that morning when he went to work, and I left. And he sent me one text, and he said, if you're going to leave, then we need to talk about how the money's going to work. That was the one text that I got from him. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to go and bother my family. Like, he's going to try and figure out where I'm at. He didn't. He didn't. He did not do any of the things that he said he was going to do if I left. He didn't do any of it. And it's so weird, because that hurt. That hurt more than staying, in a sense, because it was like I had convinced myself that he was going to be this vicious person. He was going to track me down. And ultimately, at the end, it was all just a fear tactic. And I was in this place where it's like I wanted to reach out to him. And I know I've said this story before, and I'll say it again. You know, like, it was just one more day. Like, every day I had to tell myself that for months. Just one more day. We're not going to call him for one more day. Just one more day. Because the want to pick up the phone, to hear his voice, to text him, to call him, to connect with him was so deeply ingrained in me. Like, I was so nervous. It was like, he doesn't know where I'm at. He doesn't know what I'm doing. Like, he needs to know where I'm at. He needs to know what I'm doing, because I've always had to tell him these things before. And it was like, and the Stockholm syndrome is a real thing. Like, that's a real thing that you experience. And so I feel like why I'm telling you this is just remembering, like, don't beat yourself up for staying for a long time, you know, past our welcome. And if people are telling you, like, you should just leave, and you're in a position where it's not that easy, like, don't beat yourself up for that. And also, don't let them try to convince you that you're being worthless because you can't figure it out. You know what? It's hard to figure out. It's hard to uproot your life from another person. It's completely insane. And if no one, and if they're telling you that and they've never experienced what you're going through, they do not have empathy to put the shoe on the other foot for what you've experienced. And that's something to weigh out as well in, are these people my friends or not, right? Yeah, something missing. Intimacy or fertility issues. And I do feel like that's a thing. This is something where they're very closed off to you. They're very distant. This is something that is just, there's no connecting here. There's no connection. It's not going to happen no matter what. So again, if this is somebody that you're with romantically, they're very closed off to you. They may just keep you because you're the person that's consistent, right? That's something that a lot of people do. They keep you around because you're consistent, and it's like, oh, well, this person's consistent. I'll just keep them around, and then I'll go and do whatever the heck I want to do. And you know, it's just opening up to that. But I do feel like this is sort of saying, like, you definitely know what's going on with this person. Wow. Believe in the impossible with Blue Moon. Something magnificent is going to happen very, very quickly, but very slowly. Right? It's going to be slow because you're not knowing. I have the hiccups. You're not knowing when it's going to happen. But then when it happens, like, things are going to start moving incredibly fast. So an example would be that, like, if you're trying to get away from this person, right? Like, I was trying to get away from my ex for a year and a half. And finally the opportunity arrived. And when the opportunity arrived, it was from 0 to 100 really fast, right? So that same type of energy is coming where it's like 0 to 100 right overnight. Suddenly it's like your whole life flips up on its head, but in a very powerful and beneficial way. Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. So you might also really resonate with the collective message that I did at the beginning. And if you're interested in checking that out, you'll find that in the description box below. But yeah, it's time for you to show the world the real you. Stop playing small because this person expects you to be small. Stop trying to dim your light because this person's uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. That is not your business anymore. You're cutting ties with that now. And it's important for you to stand for yourself, okay? You deserve that. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. Yeah, so there's going to be certain adjustments that you go through. And I feel like that's the thing. It's you're seeing the toxicity in the situation. And that's helping you to decipher how you show up next. What you choose to do next with this situation or with this person. Let's see what else comes out for you, pile 3. Remember, we don't need to settle. Like, I feel like that's the thing. Okay, wow, you're getting... I'm going to take this one, too, because I feel like that one's coming out. But I'll put these on the bottom. Yeah, you don't need to settle, because I feel like that's what's happened here, is that you're settling. And then this person is like, yeah, that's all you can do. Like, they're making that as, like, that's the expectation. But it's not. You get to have a choice. While making that choice is incredibly challenging, the choice is still yours. And maybe just reminding yourself of that. Like, I have options. They're coming to me now. Right? Sea sponges. Find courage to explore the unknown and let curiosity lead you through life's passages. What a confirmation we were saying earlier. It's like sometimes we stay because we know what to expect. And the hardest thing is going into the unknown. Well, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's next. But if we can approach that with a childlike mindset and eyes of wonder, then the whole world becomes our magic tool that we get to create with, right? And I definitely feel like you could use some magic, pile number 3, for sure. And I want you to know that it is coming. It is coming. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, look at this. Kali Ma, some spiritual transformation. This is incredibly powerful energy. An incredible shift, right? And I feel like because you chose the heart chakra gemstone, the Jade here, I feel like this is matters of the heart, relationships. This is my right to love and to be loved, right? Not just to love, but you have a right to be loved as well. And I feel like that's part of your spiritual transformation, which is happening on a very powerful level. Kali Ma is not a quiet, she is not a quiet goddess. She comes in very strong and very heavy and very, in a way, abrasive, but an abrasive that we need, right? security. 646, work hard and stay disciplined to unlock a happy, wealthy, and successful life. Your guardian angels are here to help you, so keep moving forward. Security is being built for you now. Okay, on the bottom, renewal. 890, you're experiencing renewal and fresh beginnings. Release the past and embrace opportunities for growth and transformation ahead. Yeah, so good things are coming for you right now. All right, let's get an angel message here. Bottom of the deck, we have the Omega. Victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. So again, keeping down your path of creation, whatever it is that you're doing, keep pouring into yourself, allowing things to unfold. I just feel like that's the main thing for you, is to do what you love and to fill up your cup, because that's where the real change is going to happen. And it's going to happen like overnight. Like I keep hearing that, like a thief in the night. I'm coming for your heart. I'm coming for your heart. Just like anything goes. They say I'm just a stupid ghost. That's something how that song goes. But I think that's it. It's like something's coming for your heart, or something that you love is coming, and it's coming fast. And then you're going to be able to ghost someone or something that is toxic for you. And I know that, like, I'm not a big fan of ghosting. Like, that's just not something that I like. But sometimes we have to. For self-preservation, sometimes we have to. Not as a means to run away from our responsibilities, which is how most people use ghosting. This feels like self-preservation. I have to check this off the camera to make sure it's okay. Yeah, okay. We have the goddess of the unknown. A new chapter in your life is around the corner. Remove fear and embrace the unknown. I look once more, just around the riverbed, beyond the shore. Right? So something is coming, but to embrace the unknown is the most powerful thing you can do right now, pile 3. Stay the course. Don't panic. You're not on the wrong path. You're just having a bumpy start. Learn from your experiences and keep going. So even if things don't look like they're coming together, trust the process right now. It's not about what you see. It's about how you feel in your heart. Okay? 44, the energetic realm, the life between lives. So this does talk about, you know, before we come to this life to incarnate, but this card gives me the specific message that this is a divine message for sure, right? This is coming from the souls that haven't incarnated, that are walking this path with you. They're here to help support you. They're here to help offer strength, structure, security, stability for you, to lean on them and to lean on yourself and to lean into your intuition, to trust yourself greatly. Siren Serenade, embrace the rhythm of life and let your movements flow with the currents of change. So going with the flow, let go and flow. You know, we talk about that in yoga all the time. And one of the teachers that I follow, Ali Van Fossen, or if you look her up on Ali the Journey Junkie, I hope that she starts posting again, because I really love her, but I still follow her classes, her old classes. But one of her favorite things to say is, let go and flow, guys, let go and flow. And it's so, you know, like when we do vinyasas in yoga, and sometimes you're ready for the vinyasa, you have the energy to get through the vinyasa, and sometimes you don't. Like sometimes you just have to rest in child's pose or in downward dog and let yourself catch your breath, right? And sometimes that's what it is. It's let go and flow. Don't try to be of the ego, try to be of the spirit. And that's what this feels like right now. Oh yeah, you got 2 of these. Pearl of Wisdom. Embrace the wisdom of the ages and let the luminous light of truth guide your path. So letting the light guide your path right now, right? What feels right for you. You're also being turned into a pearl. And I keep hearing the world is your oyster, right? Yeah, the world is your oyster. Love's like sand making pearls, and I've got all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Love's like sand making pearls, right? But you've got all the time in the world right now. I know that you want to rush to some end result, but it's imperative that you take time and let yourself be shaped and formed into the beautiful thing that you're becoming, right? The beautiful version of yourself that you're becoming. Look at this, Lilith, face your shadow. That's why this is on hold right now, because you're facing your shadow. This is facing that childhood wound head on where you're saying, I appreciate you. I'm sorry you had to carry this burden. Forgive me for not understanding the depths of this burden, but I love you so much, and I thank you. I thank you for protecting me when I didn't know how to protect myself. But now I'm going to take care of this burden, and we're going to let it go. Let go and let God. Let go and let Source. Let go and flow. Right? That's what you're doing. And so this is a very difficult situation that you're facing, but it's bringing freedom. And I feel like that's the thing with the serpent behind her, the snake going up to the crown chakra symbol, right here. It's just that signifying that this is something where you're finally choosing to surrender it to the divine. And that's what's happening with you facing your shadow. Your angel message is Grace and Antoinette, with to help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. And also, just with this, it's just reminding you that you do. I feel like you've done that. And if you haven't, right, it's just an invitation to see the other person, right? And I feel like that's going to help build your discernment in this situation. Sometimes we have to put the shoe on the other foot, but I think I said that at one point in your reading where it's like they're not willing to put the shoe on the other foot. The other people involved in this, they're not willing to put the shoe on the other foot, and that's data, right? That's information for us. It's not to judge them. It's not to be mad at them. It's not to be like, how could you? It's just seeing them for as they are in this moment and realizing that's not what I want in my life, and I'm okay with that, and I just choose to move on instead of holding resentment for the fact that they don't see me, they don't want to see me, they don't want to get to know me, they don't want to ask me what my side of the story is. They're obsessed with the drama that's being brought up to them. They're sitting back with their tub of popcorn and watching a movie show. You're not an actual person to them. They don't see it that way. They see it for what stories are coming to them. And that's all they're waiting for, is the next grand, fantastic story. So again, it's not, you can't, it feels personal, but it's not. It would, regardless if it's this person that's passing on that or it's someone else, that's just what these people are doing. And that goes to show you they're not in a vibration where they can actually receive you in a profound type of intimacy with what you're looking for, real connection. They're just not there yet. But I do feel like you are about to receive someone who can meet you at that level, or you're about to expand your friendship circle in a sense. Okay, so let's take a look at this card. I'm gonna read this from the book. Excuse me. See what it says. Loosen your grip. Oh my gosh, look at this. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, letting God in. Yeah, so this has been like, there's something here where you're gripping on. You know, when somebody is cruel to us like this, like that's the one thing like I share when I went through with my ex with you, because I have every right to absolutely hate his guts. I do. And I don't. I'm actually grateful for what I experienced. I'm grateful for what I learned. But I'm also grateful for the younger version of myself for having the strength to survive what she survived. Because if she couldn't survive, I would have never learned the lessons that I needed to learn. And if he didn't show up in that way, I would have played out those patterns with someone else who could have been even worse than he was. Right? And that's the other thing. It's like I can be absolutely completely angry at him. He was a narcissist. He was wild. He was crazy. He was controlling. He was abusive in every way imaginable. But at the end of the day, those are all coping mechanisms. Those are all defense mechanisms to stop people from seeing the real him. And when I was able to step back and put the shoe on the other foot, right, to see this from his point of view, it helped me to show up from a place of grace, and it helped me to show up from a place of true forgiveness, where I was able to let go. And when I was able to let go, now I can talk about that stuff and realize like it's not who I am, it's something I experienced. But before I identified with it. I identified with it in a lot, with anger, with hurt, with betrayal, with resentment. It doesn't make the pain of what I went through any less, but not holding the identity to it helps me to share my story so that I can show others that forgiveness is possible. And I think that's such a beautiful gift, because many of us, not just myself, but many of us have experienced some incredibly harsh things in this world. And many of us still choose not to let go. And if we can all come to this place of letting go, right? Let go and flow. Let go, forgive, and move on. Because how he treated me, it wasn't okay. And I didn't deserve that. And I know that. And it wasn't okay. And I gave every part of myself to him to make him see that I was enough. And I lost myself in that situation. And he painted the biggest mirror back to myself, showing just how far I would go to feed my own emotional ego that was identifying with a people pleaser, and what that meant, like losing myself so that I could show someone I was lovable. And that's something really hard to look at for oneself. But it's also recognizing that if I never was mirrored that back to me, I would have continued to live in that energy for a long time. And I know that that's a part of the journey, and I know what I experienced with him is a part of the journey. And our cosmos bumped into each other, and both our lives are forever changed. And I can't say whether his is for the better or not, because I've never talked to him since, and I won't. It's a choice that I made to self-persevere, right? But through that, I realized that my life changed for the better, because it gave me an opportunity to know that I could choose myself. And in choosing myself, I saw that it wasn't as scary as he painted it out to be. And it wasn't as scary as my mind painted it out to be. And so letting go of those coping mechanisms and that density helped me to let the spirit in, to let source in, to let my guides in. And so I feel like if you loosen your grip, and if you're able to see that this person's coming, even if they're a narcissist, narcissists aren't born, they're created. They're created because of harsh situations. A narcissist is the opposite side of the coin to an empath. But if an empath wants somebody to see their side of the coin, they have to be willing to look at the narcissist side of the coin as well, and recognize that this is not some demon that was incarnated here to cause trouble for you. This is somebody who chose this way of living based on the circumstances that were in their life, because that's what made sense to them as a protection, as defense, as their first line before getting hurt again. I'm going to hurt others so I don't get hurt, right? When an empath says, I'm never going to hurt another person because I don't want somebody to experience that hurt. Well, it's equally so for a narcissist. They choose hurting people because they don't want to get hurt again. But an empath is putting others first, and the narcissist puts themselves first. And when we can open ourselves to that, then we can start to let go and start to heal that wound that's been created. And maybe eventually that will give narcissists the courage to step into their own healing, which has been done. They have done it before. It's not something that's unheard of. It's not as common as an empath healing, but it's not unheard of either. And so we need to stop painting them out like they'll never heal, and we need to just see the situation for what it is. Not through our emotional ego, but through the eyes of love, which is hard to do when you've been so inundated with pain and suffering and hurt and trauma and drama from certain people in your life. But it is possible. Step by step, right? All right, loosen your grip. It says we're cyclic beings. And Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. The food, the substances, the relationships, the job, the people pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space, the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us or clinging to it for fear of it not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course of Miracles tells us, whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip, to give up control, to release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay, but you can be sure that what is for you will find you, and you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. Your inquiry is, what are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? And, you know, it's powerful. It's powerful to realize what we're holding on to out of fear, and it's powerful to realize what we're holding on to because we think we're not enough, right? Which is also fear. It all boils down to fear, but when we let love in, we can begin to see a much bigger picture, and that bigger picture begins to show us that grace is something that can lead each and every one of our lives if we allow it to. And I'm so sorry, Pile 3. I'm so sorry that you've had to experience what you've had to experience. You were never someone that deserved to go through this. And I just want you to remember just how truly strong you are, and how hopeful that a new hopeful beginning is coming to you. And it is coming. It is coming. Okay? So this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little butterfly emoji down below and say, today I transform, I let go and flow, and I allow myself to step up into a new bright beginning, knowing that I deserve good and wonderful things in my life. And if this reading spoke to your soul today, please share your story in the comments if you'd like as well, and subscribe. And with that being said, if you're interested in discovering the tools that were used in the reading or supporting the channel further, you'll find all the links you need in the description box. I would like to take a moment to share my deep gratitude to your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful message today, Pile 3. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my Purple Heart Club. So this is just a little oracle reading for you as a thank you for spending the reading to me. So this is just for my Purple Heart Clubs. And I'm going to be using the oracle that we used today, the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So I didn't have an additional oracle that I wanted to use with you guys today, or that I had out. I should say that I had out, but I felt really called to using this. So we'll get a couple of cards from this for the Purple Heart Club today's source. What's a quick message that we can put out? Okay, they want 2 more. What would you like to share with the Purple Heart Club? What would you like to share with the Purple Heart Club source? 1 more. Oh, they want this one. Alright, on the bottom of the deck we have the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So there's something here that's being cut out of your life for good, okay? So with this, we've got the weight of the world, boundaries, let go. It's not yours to carry. The big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. And you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. Wow, this is a really clear message, honestly, especially with this. I'm just going to put this out over here. Because the thing is that this is showing that there's something here that you've been having a hard time creating boundaries with, right? Like with the weight of the world, you've been carrying it on your shoulders. It's been very heavy. It's been very difficult to move through. It's been very difficult to overcome. But suddenly there's this big picture thinking where you're finally stepping outside of the direct, immediate emotional connection that you have to this situation, this person, this place, this thing, whatever it is. You're stepping outside of the box and you're seeing a much wider view of it. So no longer is it honed in on the troubles that you have with this situation. You're seeing something else outside of it. There's hope outside of it. There's something else outside of it. And you're walking through the gate because of this, right? Like, look at this. It's such a beautiful card here. And I feel like just walking through this portal here and seeing life for the first time, being called home by your Pleiadian home family, like reconnecting with your star family, if that's something that resonates with you. If not, just reconnecting with your guides in an incredibly powerful way. And with You're Not Alone, I also feel like you have been isolated because of this situation for a long time, which is why we have the great severing here, being cut finally from your life, like recognizing that you don't have to carry this burden anymore. You don't have to hold on to this anymore. And now you're going to be able to connect with a community that sees life in a very similar way that you do, right? No one actually sees life the exact same way that we do, but it's like-minded individuals, people who are willing to open up and allow everybody to have their different views and not judge them based on their different views, not control them based on their different views, but to leave space for you to be yourself. And I feel like this is something that's going to be incredibly powerful for you as you move forward. And you're going to feel like this is a gift from source. You're going to feel like this is a big blessing from source, something that's taking you out from this place of feeling so much anger. So I do feel like there's a lot of anger that's coming through here with this Mars energy, which, you know, thinking about Mars is ruled by the god of war, and so it's like going to battle every day, which was definitely throughout the reading something that came through the reading itself. And so knowing that you're not going to have to go to battle anymore, but that you can actually go and enjoy yourself, spend time with people who love you and appreciate you, recognize that you can set these solid boundaries with whatever the situation is. You don't have to carry it anymore. You can just let down the anchor, is going to be such a freeing moment for you. I feel like through that, you're immediately going to be connecting with a much more aligned version of your higher self and yourself, right? Like that connection is going to strengthen, and your intuition is going to come through in a much more clear way, so that you're no longer feeling like you've been left out in the cold by your spiritual team or maybe by source, because sometimes that happens on our journeys, and that's not something to feel bad about. It's just that in those moments, we're really truly trying to ground into ourselves, and that's why it's hard for us to connect with our guidance, and that's why it's hard for us to connect with the divine realm. But I do feel like right now there's something that's getting severed out of your life, and it will happen incredibly quickly, and you're going to be moving into a very blessed time where you're going to be connecting with people who see your value and see your worth. And I want you to remember, you are an incredible, amazing person, and you matter as you are in this moment, and you have always been and will always be enough. Okay? So thank you so much for being a part of my Purple Heart Club. Again, this is just me giving back to you. A little bit of love goes a long way, as we've all seen. And with that, until the next time, stay human. Bye.